What do you tell about returns from rent to your clients?
I'm not going to put out my tips. I'm not going to share my secrets. I'm not going to give out methods or the strategies that I use.
I got it. Okay, you want to start working in the real estate industry. How would you approach this process?
Stay humble. Forget the luxury and this and spending and just losing on yourself. In most cases, we have seen agents that are not consistent and then they eventually have to come out of the market because they lose that side. So stay humble.
Arian?
Yeah.
Hey bro, how are you doing?
Okay.
Again, I'm privileged to have a chance to ask Arian some questions, get to know his tips and tricks, and thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. Yeah.
Thank you, bro. Do you know how you are saved in my phone number?
Arian, the best agent in Dubai?
Almost. Yeah, you're still saved in my phone as Arian Deja Vu.
Oh, okay.
So now you run a successful company, but I would like to come back to your time while you were an agent, and just if you can walk us through the evolution of new joiner, then successful agent, and then business owner, it would be really cool. So can you please tell us a little bit more about your journey in the industry?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think I've actually never really spoke about this online. I'll just cut it short. I grew up in Dubai. I went to school here, went to university here. At some point, I had to drop out of university, so I started different routes, went through different industries. I got into tourism. Long story short, I maxed out on tourism in terms of what I could earn. I heard about real estate from a friend of mine. I decided to come into real estate around 2013. 2013, 14, I slowly kind of
Me as well, same
had
time.
an evolution to come into to real estate. And I've been in a couple of different places, maybe not so good, some good. So we all had, our challenges at the time. And I found my way quite quick. I think around 2014, which was peak of the market, we had a good time. 2015, I was always kind of a hustler, knowing Dubai, especially all the areas, seeing it from scratch. It helped me a lot, I think. And here I am. Yeah.
Like you said, you were working in different companies.
Yeah.
How many companies did you change from 2013?
3 companies before I started my own.
Which one is the most notable and the one that
The last one I was in before I started my own real estate, which was Deja Vu, it was the best place I was in out of everywhere else.
Okay.
So I had a good experience there generally.
For how long did you work there?
Over a year, around close to 2 years.
Close to 2 years. And is it this company where you started to do some of your as I know you were doing some paid marketing back then?
Yeah.
I just knew that there is one guy in Deja Vu who is closing a lot of townhouses. This is what I know. The developers were telling us, and it was you. Can you please tell me about this journey? How the agent became so well known that developers started to talk about him like this guy is crazy. What happened there?
Most of the time, prior to Deja Vu, I was actually doing a lot of secondary market. That's what I was mostly involved in. I had a lot of mortgage buyers. So when I joined Deja Vu, they were a little bit more into primary. I had done a little bit of primary with big developers. So, back in the day with MR, we used to have, appointments to get inside. It wasn't like today where you just walk in, you have a coffee, you can go in anytime, sit, work from there. So when I came into Deja Vu, they were a little bit more developer orientated. They were into primary market. And that's when I kind of, decided that I want to just focus on primary. I already had a good pool of investors with me. So it was a little bit easy working with them, selling a lot of these. And then I stumbled across social media marketing, Google AdWords. And with my current partners, actually, we used to work in the same company together. So it was the 3 of us who started doing marketing campaigns, getting leads. At the time, it wasn't like today. Cost per lead was really low. So we used to acquire leads easily. You know yourself, I think you were one of the guys who
we missed big opportunity by not spending more back then.
Well, we had limited budget as well. So I remember we used to have like a paper with all the leads, and we used to just like go back and forth with the same leads, pushing to kind of squeeze out a deal. Whereas today, people are getting leads like 3-4 a day.
Yeah.
And it's like tomorrow new leads are going to come. So it's a bit different.
Are you tired of playing catch up with the huge amount of real estate projects in Dubai and the fear of missing out on the best ones? Discover the secret behind staying ahead in the game with Really. Imagine closing more deals simply by staying updated on the latest project. With Really, you can make it happen. In Dubai, fast-paced real estate market, over 50 projects launch every week. Really aggregates them all, creating a streamlined platform to track, compare, and make informed decisions. Just download Really, explore all off-plan projects, stay ahead of every project launch, win back available time, close more deals, and make more money with Really.
Bro, you said that you start using the social media and paid ads.
Yeah.
That you came across somebody and stuff.
Yeah.
So let's come back to this point, because right now there are a lot of agents who are sitting and they're thinking, should I start my own marketing or not? They're getting some leads from the company, but still they're looking like, should I do this or better to get more leads from the company? So why did you start using somebody as a contractor for your paid marketing?
Look, to be honest, at the time, we didn't have resources. When you don't have leads, you have a certain number of clients, you max out on whatever you can close. And obviously, cold calling, it kind of became a little bit of a tool where everyone's doing it. You don't want to follow the herd. At the same time, it's a long shot. You're going to talk to thousands of people, get one meeting. So the conversion rate, it wasn't the same. So we wanted to go into something new. We saw the opportunity. We tried to kind of push the opportunity towards the company as well, or towards people that we knew, and a lot of people weren't open to it at the time. So at that time where you didn't have resources, it was good to start. You could spend minimal amount and you get good leads. Currently, cost per lead is really expensive. Competition is really high. A lot of the companies are already providing leads to you, and there are so many different referral systems that you can generate for yourself, where you can have leads organically. Plus the social media right now. It's very easy to kind of go viral if you really want to do it in a high quantity in the right way. So I think for a lot of new agents especially, they don't need to go through this route. It's simple. If the company is providing you good support, follow that and you can get results out of that.
If company doesn't provide you this support, what would you do?
I mean, there are always ways. I see people, there are two types of agents. There are agents who make it happen. They don't have excuses. Whatever ways they can find, they generate. And then there are other agents. But at the end of the day, if you are in a company that's not giving you support, that's not giving you leads, then you might have to look for alternative options, right?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
I want to dig deeper a little bit with your paid ads. You said that you did it with the partners. So you had some colleagues, and now you guys are partners in the business. Was it a good decision to make a group and find a guy who's running your ads? And how did you distribute the leads, having 3 people on the board? Do you think it's something that people should consider, or it's better to do on your own?
No, I think, I mean, at the end of the day, any partnership, there are people that are worth doing, are made for partnership, and there are people who like to do things solo in any business or anything in life generally. So if you have a good partnership where you can do things equally, we actually did share things equally, everything was equal, meetings were equal, clients were equal. If you can do that and you're open to it, then you're great, especially if you're in the same level, in the same mentality, mindset, your work ethic is the same, then it's worth doing it.
So did you agree in the beginning that, okay, there are 3 of us and we will divide leads basically by the numbers 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and this is how you would divide the leads, or how did it work in your particular case?
Yeah, I mean, it's similar to any company as well. You got to have a roster, obviously. At a certain time, one of you may be busy, so you might not get
and
that
help
lead.
Each other, yeah?
You might give it to someone else, and then someone else gets the lead. But when we started, it was so minimal. We had so little number of leads that it wasn't necessary to kind of, have a roster in general.
Got it. Yeah. Got it. So when did you start considering, not when you make a decision, but when did you start considering that you need to move and open your own company?
For me personally, I think I was in the business for a long time. I knew a lot of things. I had made my relationships. I had led teams. I knew I was ready to kind of come out and start something. So it's not simple. It's not like, many people decide to open up a company because they're like, if I'm making this amount of commission from the current company that I'm in, I'd rather go and open my own company and make 100%. They think it's simple. So I think this is not a reason to open a company. You got to think like a few years down the line, what you want to achieve, what's your end goal. And for me, it was clear. I like to run a team. I like to have expansion. That's kind of, a little bit of who I am. So,
what would be your advice to an agent who is thinking to open a company because he wants to take full commission?
Yeah, I don't think that's the right way. Because first of all, if it's solely for the purpose of making commission, you might end up making less. When you're in a company setup, when you're in a corporate format, technically, you see other people closing. It motivates you. You have trainings, you have meetings, you go to developers, you have the relationship. That relationship also dies once you start to go solo. So a lot of developers, obviously, especially right now with the competition, they give priority to agencies that they've worked with and agencies who are there at the top for a lot of their inventory or a lot of their launches. You're going to miss out on that, number one. So you might lose out on these there. And on the other hand, you don't get that motivation and drive that you do when you're in a team setting. So I think it's definitely not the right way if that is the sole purpose.
Yeah, I got it. Like the motivation part of the team is very big part for me personally. A lot of people asking me like, why you don't open something on your own?
Yeah,
I just really like to be in the team and have this competition and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
What was the year when you opened the company?
Right before COVID. March 2019. Yeah, literally. That's when we decided, and then obviously lockdown hit. That's when we kind of did all of our, structuring, setup, which was a great time. We had a lot of time on our hands. Obviously, Zoom just kind of came up. So we did a lot of Zoom calls. And that's when we kind of started. But then we took off right after lockdown.
You said March 2019 or it's March 2020?
March 2020, sorry.
March 2020.
Yeah.
What a time to start.
Yeah. I would have predicted COVID if it was March 2019.
Got it. So right now, you already run a company for almost 3 years, yeah?
Yes.
It comes to 3 years?
Yes.
How is your overall experience in comparison to being a top agent in the company? Like, do you like it more as an owner? Or maybe do you miss that part of being...
No, I don't miss being an individual agent, to be honest. I mean, at times you do, because you have everything at your doorstep. Everything's ready for you. You come, you get the support, you get the leads, you get the meetings, things are set up. Here, you kind of got to innovate and figure out how you're going to grow and expand. And you've got a competition on another level. It's not the same when you're within a company and you're just competing with individuals. So it's a lot of challenge, but we had a really good year-on-year growth. We're in a good spot. We have really grown with quality. So people that we have, I think unlike a lot of agencies in the market where 20% are performing, maybe 80% are not, it's kind of vice versa for us. We have 80% of our agents performing, 20% are here and there, maybe not so much. So it's been great. Yeah.
And how big is the team right now?
Right now, we're nearing 50.
Excellent. And so initially, when three of you came together, initially you had an idea that we're going to hire agents. We're not opening company for ourselves.
Definitely. We looked at 1 year plan, 3 year plan, 5 year plan. So it was a vision.
What if right now, give me an advice, if I sit right now with my friends and we're thinking, let's open a company with 3 of us, we're going to run it and just close our own deals under that company without hiring agents, because we think that if we hire agents, it will take a lot of time from us, from the sales. So we will not perform as good as we do. And we don't know if agents will perform well. What would be your advice to such group of...
Yeah,
top agents?
definitely. It's definitely a challenge regardless, because when you open a company, especially real estate, you need to back out from a few things and manage your time properly. So for the first probably few months to a year, if things are not done properly, if the team that is hired is not correct, you're going to end up declining a little bit on your own personal stuff. But at the end of the day, when you look 1 year, 2 years, 3 years down the line, if the plan is to grow the company and expand, it's worth it. If the plan is to just open up a company so you can get your own deals there and max out on your commission percentage, I don't think it's a reasonable thing to do, to be honest.
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, you said that an agent shouldn't really consider to do his own marketing in case if the company is providing him leads, and I absolutely agree with you on this. What about this we can call hype that agents should be on the social media? I would like to discuss this topic with you as well. Do you think that agents should be on the social media, like in order to attract more business?
New agents, no. So right now, I see a lot of agents that are coming into the real estate market, and mainly it's for the purpose of being on social media. So they think that sales are going to be driven through social media. I'm going to grow through social media. They end up losing on the knowledge that they can gain in the beginning, the contacts they can make, and the deals they're going to close. And real estate, in the first few months, especially when you're not earning any basic salary, you're on commission base, you're going to fall under pressure. If you don't have deals and you have financial struggles as well, then you're probably going to be out of the market in no time. So initially, I advise agents not to go on social media, focus on building as much knowledge as they can, focus within a certain area, get to deals fast. So then they can kind of build on that.
I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
And there is such cliche that if you're on social media, you're getting leads and you're getting, you can get lucky and got the lead and close it. But basically, if you guys are new, let the company provide you the business, and you should close deals without wasting the time. Not like wasting time, spending too much time on social media.
Yeah, because that's the thing. There are people that are deciding to go on social media, like you, for example. How long does it take you to shoot a video? Probably half an hour, max, 15 to 20 minutes to shoot one quick reel. For a lot of people, it takes a day.
Yes.
So for us, we spend half an hour, 1 hour a week to create 4 or 5 videos that just goes out. It's not taking much of your time. That's okay. Mm-hmm. For a lot of people, it's taking a lot of their time because they're thinking so much about quality, what they're going to say, how it's going to be put out, that it does take a lot of their time. Even advanced brokers, not just people that are new. Yeah.
Talking about social media, if we do you treat more as a lead generation tool or lead nourishing tool, where you kind of
for me personally?
Yes.
For me, I started technically I started social media properly beginning of last year, end of 21. Okay. That's when I kind of started. Before that, it was just here and there, posts, a couple of videos, not aggressively and consistently. And obviously, I still have challenges with time, but it wasn't for the purpose of creating leads. We already have leads. We already have our, portfolio of investors that are there. I actually don't want new clients as much, to be honest, when you get so busy. So it was mainly for the purpose of just, having eminence as a brand. So to just push out our brand and kind of create awareness on that mostly and be there in the market. Because obviously market is going towards, social media, and you want to be organic as much as possible in the near future. Like we discussed, leads, it went from 7 dirhams to 250 dirhams per lead.
Yeah.
And soon it's going to go to 1,000. It's going to become
madness.
Crazy. You won't be able to afford. So it's good to have organic side as well.
So 1 year ago, you started taking social media seriously. What action have you done to increase your growth and make it more aggressive on the market?
To be honest, quantity is one, and really stopped caring about what people think or how I look or what I'm wearing or what I'm saying. It was just like casual. I'm doing this, on a high level. I'm meeting investors, big people. The same things that I'm delivering to them or the same things that I'm delivering to my team, I'm going to put out on social media. So that's when it's kind of, I think for a lot of people, that's when it takes off, when you don't care much about what's going to be there. And a lot of our content is shot right at the same time. It's not prepared. I don't have time really to plan it. So it's just we meet, shoot, and that's how it goes out.
So do you allocate 1 day per week? How do you schedule your shootings?
Honestly, quite challenging. Like it's not a certain time. Like probably this morning, I message the team and I say, okay, in the afternoon I can be here at this time from this time, and we can shoot quick, meet them, and then just ideas pop out.
So when you call them, do you know that you'll have like 3 videos to discuss these topics, or they come and only there you
on the spot?
On the spot.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just 2 videos. Sometimes 5 comes out of it. So ideas just come based on my own meetings during the same day. Maybe I said something in the meeting in the morning to my team. I deliver the same. And I think a key point is that even with running a company, a lot of leaders or a lot of people think that I'm not going to put out my tips, or I'm not going to share my secrets, or I'm not going to give out the methods or the strategies that I use. I think this is wrong in general. They think that people are going to steal this. And I think that's one part where you kind of grow as a company, as a leader, as a manager, when you start to deliver that to your team.
Yeah. Do you have your favorite platform on social media?
Instagram, I think.
Which other platforms do you use?
Currently, I'm just on Instagram and TikTok. That's it, yeah.
Do you feel like any of them is performing better in terms of the leads? Closed leads?
Well, to be honest, I haven't really taken the time to track much. Majority of my leads are coming through Instagram, but the same people are probably following me on TikTok as well. It's kind of hard to reach people on TikTok. Prior to recently, you couldn't message anyone unless they followed you back. Right now, you get message requests, but there's a lot of junk in there that you don't get to kind of filter it out. And I don't really have much time to, browse and check what's happening. So I think Instagram is probably the one you get more leads.
Do you manage yourself your accounts, like by posting posts, reels, etc.?
TikTok, no, I have a team. Instagram, I do it myself. Yeah, it's much easier.
Do you do it on whenever you're free, or do you allocate specific time to do this to manage the platform?
Honestly, whenever I'm free. Yeah, could be in traffic.
Yeah, the best
best place to find time
to do it. Yeah. How big is your team? You keep on mentioning team.
Close to 50.
No, team for social media.
For social media, there are a couple of, 3 to 4, depending, kind of rotating mostly. But I have one that is in-house and a few that are outsourced.
How did you approach the sourcing? How did you find these guys? How would you recommend somebody? Like somebody's watching, he needs to find a team. First of all, would you recommend to find somebody or do the content on your own? And
it costs you. So if you have the capital, if you have the money to go out and find people to do it, especially right now, like I think videography, content creation is really on the rise. Every single business is using that.
I was surprised how much it costs.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get into content creation instead. I become a videographer. It's good money. Yeah. So if the capital is there, you need to look at, there are a couple of people really in the market that are doing well for everyone. And mostly there are, whoever's using, they're using the same team. There's like 2-3 different teams that people are using. So you can go out and use them. If not, to be honest, it's quite simple to do if you can find the time. If you have someone to just shoot, I see people editing videos in like few seconds.
Yeah, now you can put automatically subtitles and all the stuff.
Exactly.
So things are getting...
They've got CapCut and a couple other apps to just putting in the shots together, and then an app to add the subtitles.
Yeah, and by the way, who will share this podcast in their stories and tag Arian and Really? I think it's good I will send you some apps that are good for the editing, or Really will. we'll create it and the list, and we'll share with you guys. Bro, so you filmed the content. Do you pay to boost it?
No, I don't. Yeah,
it's all organic.
Yeah, it's all organic, and you know the algorithm it affects. As long as you monetize your account, you don't go viral.
Oh, seriously? They feel like, oh, this guy has money, yeah?
Yeah. So they start to push you as much as you spend. And generally, I don't like, personal account campaigns or sponsored ads. You see a lot of like people posting pictures and then they're sponsoring it.
Yeah.
I don't.
Actually, I was trying to do it yesterday, but for some reason couldn't sign up to my Facebook. And it's good that you tell me that it's better. It's better not to do.
I mean, it gives you followers, but it doesn't put you out there organically. I think it limits you when you start to do. Or this was the case over the past year or so. Always changes algorithm, so you never know.
Yeah. What is the main source of leads for you right now as an agent?
For my agents, we're doing a lot of social media, Google AdWords, a lot of campaigns, and then we have some, influencers that we work with. We have some contracts.
How was your experience with influencers?
Yeah, it's okay. Again, influencers are also expensive. So you need to know who you choose, when you choose. I think in general, influencer market right now is not the same as before. And it's time to create your own content, to go spend more into creating content rather than using influencers.
For me, influencers are one of the main sources of business right now. Like I've structured it in a way that they're getting paid if I close the lead through them.
Yeah, exactly.
And now I have I started with the one ads, but now people keep on promoting me here and there, and keep on generating business. So influencers are a good option.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's about finding ways to be different. And I say this often to everyone, and people take it like, okay, yeah, obviously everyone knows that, but not everyone does it. You have to find ways to be different, literally, and look out what everyone is doing. Majority of the agents in the market, they're doing the exact same things. You just have to tweak a few things to be different. So people are paying influencers to market for them. They are marketing for you, and you pay them once you close. And not a lot of people are doing it, to be honest. So
yeah, true.
Yeah, it's nice.
Bro, let's imagine that you just recently came to Dubai and you want to start working in the real estate industry, and now you have to choose the company. Knowing what you know now, how would you approach this process?
You go to www.mnsltd.com
and leave that.
Leave your information, and our HR will contact you. No, but for majority of people that I know personally and they approach me, I tell them to start with developers, especially if they don't have any savings.
Why?
You need solid savings initially to kind of get into the market. Not a lot of people close in their first month or second month. For some people, it takes time to acquire that knowledge, especially when they're new in Dubai. It takes time to understand what you are selling, where you are selling, about Dubai in general, what is happening. So in order to have that time frame, developers, they obviously give you a good basic salary initially, and they give you development and training that not a lot of brokerages do. So it's a good place to start to get that, get your feet off the ground and move on probably from there to a brokerage after some time.
How much saving would, obviously as much as possible, but what is the minimum savings amount in terms of the expenses per month would you recommend somebody to have before he starts real estate?
Really depends, I haven't really looked into my my expenses are quite high now. I haven't looked into
well, now it's different,
what you need to, but I think probably somewhere between 60 to 100,000 is good.
Sorry, 60?
60 to 100,000 dirhams.
Wow, bro!
Yeah.
Nobody will join the industry then.
Exactly. People are taking a long shot coming in, and a lot of people have challenges.
A lot, it's stressful,
you have it takes you, let's say, even 5-6 months to close a deal, And if it's not a secondary deal, if it's a primary deal, it's going to take time to get that commission from the developer as well and get you paid. So for me, I'm thinking 10,000 per month is your expenses. You think you can manage with lower as an agent?
I think, yeah, well, if you, like you're without family, okay, of course, if it comes with the family, you need to keep it in mind. But
because right now, it's not like, 7-8 years ago, transport is expensive, right? Living cost right now, rentals are expensive.
You share somebody.
Food is expensive.
Yeah, actually, it's costly.
Yeah. So I'm thinking around 10,000, but if you can afford 6,000-7,000 to do, maybe you need less. Yeah.
Right now, you can as well observe some of your employees, and there are some talented guys. Can you describe some of the habits or some of the things that you've noticed or see in your top performers? What makes them different compared to others?
Number one is definitely, focus and time management. You have to eliminate a lot of things, especially when you start to acquire clients, start to close deals. You're going to get a lot of referrals here and there. You're going to get a lot of different, properties to sell or inquiries that it might not be worth working on. And it's going to take your focus away from everything else that you have. So you kind of need to prioritize, and that comes to time management as well, how you're going to prioritize and planning your day. So these people, they have a good work ethic. They start early. They plan their day. They know what they are doing during the day. They follow a process. And every single day you're learning something new. And at the same time, you are touching a new base, like building a new referral system for yourself, building a new lead generation for yourself. These are a few traits that I think top performers share.
Ever wondered how top real estate agents in Dubai secure the most clients in a highly competitive market? They respond fast and accurately to their clients' requests. Imagine being the first to respond with stunning sales offers, closing the deal effortless. With Really, creating high-quality presentations and sales offers is just a click away. No more racing against time. Stand out by replying in seconds, not hours. If you're ready to be the fastest agent in Dubai, download Really, customize your offers, outshine your competitors, fast responses, impressive offers. Really, where the speed meets success.
Is there any nationality that you see that they are buying more from in your specific team? Or it's a mix? Russians, yeah. So it's.
I mean, currently it's Russians, but when you look at it, we have a lot of different European nationalities, to be honest. I mean, Russia's number one now, I think, still. UK and India. India's second, UK's third. But then right after, you have Germany, France, Italy, Romania. We never had these European nationalities in the top 10.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's a big mix. Russia, I think, has been the top for the past year. Right now, there are a lot of new nationalities coming in, so it's kind of balancing out.
Do you work yourself with Russians?
I have, yes.
So deals are happening?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I hear quite often that it's like only Russian-speaking agents can work with Russians, but it's not the same as it was like 5-7 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. No, when I look at because it's not just Russians that are coming from Russia. You have a lot of Russians coming from Europe. You have a lot of Russians coming from UK, Germany, specifically. So it's a big mix. And I think, looking at myself, I think sometimes I close more Russians than Russian agents. Yeah. So I think it's not necessarily that you have to be Russian speaking.
Let's discuss the market.
Sure.
So what is your favorite investment strategy that you suggest to your clients?
To be honest, for everyone it's different. People have different plans, and I think it's important for a lot of the new guys to understand that everyone's requirement is different. You need to first really understand what their requirement is. You have people that are literally coming to Dubai right now. They have no businesses. They have no income being generated. They have money. They want to place it into properties that are ready, that's going to generate income for them, and that's going to pay them monthly or quarterly or annually, and they're going to live off of that. So you've got that. And then you've got people, obviously, that have income generating businesses where you can kind of have two sides. One side is buying properties that are going to increase in capital, sell them off, maybe take a portion of that, and then distribute into properties that then you can have a portfolio to eventually have passive income out of. these are kind of two different income strategies, and for a lot of people it's different.
So let's say I have $1 million. I came to you as a lead, and I don't really know what I need to do. What would be your suggestion to me?
Again, it depends. Like this $1 million that you have, do you want to generate income off of it? Do you have other?
I want to make as much money as possible. Like, what is the best investment advice?
In what period of time? Because this is also
in 1 year.
Yeah, this is also a problem right now. In the past couple of years, we had a lot of situations where you get properties that are going to increase in capital. You know that, flipping it within 6 months, 1 year, and we've done a lot of those, and it's been great. Currently, you've got a lot of investors that are coming in and a lot of new agents that obviously have seen that for the past 2 years. They don't know what's happening, and they're saying or advising clients that you're going to buy this and you're going to flip it within the next 2-3 months, 6 months, 1 year. You don't have a lot of these properties because we had payment plans that were really good, and currently payment plans are very steep. So within 1 year, it could be a challenge. Here and there, every single month, we analyze projects that we believe limitation of supply or location, developer, price is really good, payment plan is good. We enter those and we purchase them for our investors and then maybe sell them off. Right now, I think the best time frame to look at is probably 18 to 24 months. And with your $1 million, I would say right now, go for something that is within $1 million range or maybe a little bit more. Again, don't go for something that is $2 million and you're going to consider your $1 million during construction period, and then anything happens and you're under pressure.
What would you recommend to buy? Several one beds, maybe 2 bed and a 1 bed, or 3 bed unit for this budget?
Look, if you're looking at investment side to buy something to sell it off with a profit, in this kind of range, you don't have many options that fit that criteria because there's actually a lot of competition within this price range. When you look at 8, 9, 10 million range and above, you have options that are potentially great for capital appreciation and sort of a flip investment. But I personally would go for 2 or a 3 bedroom within this range. I don't really personally prefer to go for studios or 1 bedrooms. They are easier or faster to sell when it comes down to it. But 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms, they have a better capital appreciation. They are more limited. They have better demand for end users. So there's a higher chance that your capital gain will be there. And at the same time, the way we are managing a portfolio of short-term rentals for our investors, I see that 2 and 3 bedrooms are doing great in comparison.
I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I'm saying to my clients. And guys, there is one script that you can use. You can say that in the end of the day, you will sell your 1 bed to the investor, and investor will check for how much your client is selling, for how much his neighbor is selling, etc., etc., etc. But when you are selling a 2 or 3 bed, you still should mention that it can be bought by the family and investor, but the family can pay more because there are more emotions involved in this decision. If somebody asks you about the what will be the performance of the market in the next year or in the next 2 years, what do you usually say to your investors?
It's a big question, Mark. Like whoever you speak to, from law to probably chairmen of developers, they don't really know the answer to it because of the kind of magic that Dubai has done over especially the past couple of years. The way things are going, I think the market is going to be healthy for the next couple of years, to be honest, because obviously, first of all, we do have a limited supply. It is one of the only places where investment is safe. I think we underestimate how how Dubai managed COVID during the time. I don't think any other city or country did as good as Dubai. And all of these kind of shows you that regardless of what is happening outside in the world, in US, the recession, the situation of Europe, which isn't great right now, it all adds value to Dubai and it all kind of leads here. And we can see that a lot of Europeans are moving here. Chinese have started now after their restrictions to move like crazy. Russians are still buying. You have people from the region, even, GCC nationals are still investing in Dubai heavily. And for us, like based on our stats, a lot of US are also inquiring about Dubai right now, US nationals. So I think for the next couple of years, the Dubai market would be healthy. At the same time, it's always good not to maximize your risk, not to go all out with everything that you have. Like I said, people have $1 million, they buy $2 million properties, and then eventually get stuck and complain.
But still, if the client insists, Arian told me how much money I will potentially make. Give me the number. What would be the number?
I think from personal experience right now, within 18 to 24 months, if you buy the right property on your capital, you could earn anywhere between 50 to 100%. So you could potentially double your capital within the next 1.5 to 2 years if you choose the right property in a project that has a good developer, it's a limited supply, it's in a good location, and
it's demand. On your capital. Guys, use it as well when you pitch the project, that you will make that much money on invested money, how much you spend on the money.
Exactly, yeah.
It sounds way better. I'm sure you had in your career cases where you promised something, like the client squeezed it from you, but by some reason it didn't happen. Or maybe there are cases when you agree with the client that we will sell this project in 2 years. Like in 1 year it will be too early to sell. But then something happens, and let's say in 4 months he comes back to you and he asks for help. And sometimes such clients as well kind of push you a bit from the moral side, like, what did you offer to me? How do you handle such situations?
Honestly, personally, even as a company, whatever we've sold and we've come across these situations, we've taken into consideration that we might have to exit sooner than we expect. Because this is the case with a lot of buyers, particularly investors. They come in a little bit more open-handed, and then at a certain amount of time, they want to kind of, exit. Again, because of a lot of their own situations with whatever's happening in their country or with their own investments or decisions that they have done. And we've always exited in a good margin. Worst case scenarios has been we exited on our original prices. We haven't really incurred losses, especially in the past couple of years. Before that, 2015, 16, 17, leading up to 2019, of course, there were challenges. Everyone knew that you're going to lose on your property. But again, one thing that is important is it's funny. You talk to people who have invested in stocks, people who have invested especially into crypto, right? They have lost 50% or 100% of whatever they've invested, and they talk about it and they laugh. And it's like, whatever, it's okay. With real estate, it's 5% down. It's still generating income for you, giving you rental returns. Everyone's panicking. So it's just a sensitive topic in general, I think, for a lot of people. For most investors that understand that there are risks involved and they always have to balance different things, it works out perfectly.
What do you tell about returns from rent to your clients? How much money they can make on it?
In a prime location, on short-term rentals, if you have bought properties at the right price, especially now if you're buying certain properties that are under construction, once they are ready, if the location is prime, there is access to facilities, amenities, it has good proximities, you can earn anywhere between 10 to 15%. We already are.
Mm-hmm. What about long-term rent?
Long-term rent, 30 to 40% lower than whatever the short-term rent is. I'd say the realistic figure is 7 to 8% if it's in a good location and you're buying it at a good price.
Do you have a secondary market department in your company?
Currently, no.
So to whom do you give the property to sell, or do you sell it yourself in case if you do the
We don't do a lot of secondary market in general. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of primary resales or properties that we have bought for our investors that are now nearing completion or are ready. We sell it ourselves. Obviously, we have our porters, we have our admin department, marketing department. They're sorting everything out. But our agents who are also working on primary are doing that themselves because it's always a limited number. You're not primarily focusing on selling 5 to 10 properties a month. You have probably 1 to 2 secondary properties a month, and then everything else you do is primary.
So you just sell it through the property finder?
Yeah.
Like
I'm property finder. Sometimes we do market our own properties through our own channels as well, and it works out for us, or through our agent channels. Again, working with, agents in the market for a long time. You have WhatsApp groups, you have that relationship, and a lot of properties sell like that. But I think even for companies, especially people who are starting companies, you need to either be focused on primary or secondary. If you reach a certain stage where you have the support to go into secondary market, then like you mentioned, you have a secondary market department that is separate, doing different things. With most companies that I see that are doing things together, mix, it doesn't really work out great. They're kind of not the best on both sides.
So what would you say to your agent in case if like he will come to you for advice about how to handle a client? He received the lead and he's saying, I need something ready to rent it out, and it's an investment. What would be your advice how the agent can convert him to the off-plan side?
It really depends, because if you have an end user that is looking to move here, depending on the community, in most places there are good deals in comparison to even the off-plan market. So if they
But you have to sell off-plan. Let's put it this way. You have to convert him. What would be your... Maybe not your. You need to give an advice to an agent. Somebody ask you.
Let's say that the client is an investor.
Yes.
Okay? Because if it's an end user, I mean, you don't really want to push them into something that doesn't make sense for them.
I'll share what I'm saying to end users.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. If the client is an investor, in most cases right now, you can find options that are relatively cheaper than a secondary market within the same area. It makes more sense to go for that. Once the property is ready, you have capital appreciation. If you rent it out, you get a better return on investment based on the price that you have purchased. And for most people, I see personally, they prefer to buy something on a payment plan. I personally prefer to buy on a payment plan. I have the opportunities right now to buy cash ready properties. I don't. I go for something on a payment plan. Having said that, you got to pick and choose specific projects for different reasons. Like there's so many criteria to look at, so many factors to consider. Once you've done that, a lot of different off-plan projects definitely top ready market.
Yeah. With regards to the end users, would you like to hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Quite often it's people who just recently moved to Dubai.
Yeah.
And they're looking for the place to stay. And what I usually suggest them to do is that they need to rent for some time in order to get to know the areas better.
Yeah.
And then, yes, we're coming again to the point that there is a payment plan. In the off-plan, it's something new, it's something cool. Yeah. And by the time when it's ready, you will move there. And you will definitely cover your expenses of the rent that you paid during this time. And it kind of help with the end users.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. Definitely makes sense. Sometimes, somewhere we gotta admit, especially with new agents, because they start out, the initial suggestion or advice or training is that be aggressive, go out, sell to people, and it's just like I'll find any way to convince people. They spend a lot of time on people for things that they cannot convince them on, and then they miss out on clients that are ready and they could sell them. You know what I mean?
This is so important, especially right now with the current market.
Yeah.
100%. If we discuss this part of work with leads, how do you qualify the lead? Or do you qualify the leads now, or like somebody else is doing it for you?
Honestly, the kind of campaigns that we are running, we've reached a place, thankfully. Our marketing, I could say, is one of our strength parts. So we are good in generating filtered leads that are kind of already qualified. Yeah, which is a little bit more expensive than the normal leads that a lot of marketing campaigns generate, but it's already kind of pre-qualified. And then for any agent, they should get in touch with the lead as soon as possible, as soon as the lead has registered. If you can get in touch with them as quick as possible, this is the best time. Shouldn't really wait for a
call
sweet
or
time.
Message.
Initially call, of course. Call, message, WhatsApp, email. Touch base as much as possible.
What would you do with the lead that says like, I'm very interested, but I'll need to buy in 6 months from now?
Again, you can't kind of, force them into it. Obviously, let's have a Zoom call, let's have a meeting, figure out, give you a brief about what is there, so you're ready within 6 months. Then once you have that meeting, you kind of crack into why 6 months. Is it because your funds are not ready? Is it because you believe that the market will be in a better place in 6 months? Is it because you're going to sell your property and you're waiting to sell it off? So a lot of different factors can come into it. If it's something that is out of your hand, you can't force it, but you really need to figure that question mark to understand why. What is the reason? Many people don't. Many people think, or especially new agents think, I'm going to wait and just get in touch in 6 months.
Let's say he needs to sell a house in order to buy something else, and he thinks it will happen in 6 months. Like, do you leave some kind of task to get in touch with him, or maybe you have some automated follow-up system?
I think initially you have to build that relationship. I personally say, obviously get in touch with them, set a meeting, build your relationship, discuss the market and the situation that the market is in, where you think the market will be in the next 6 months to 1 year, and feed them updates, not just projects, updates about the market, how much things are selling, what is happening here based on the requirement. Once you know that and you have kind of given them this value over the next 6 months, whenever they are ready, you're the one they're going to contact.
So you create something like a broadcast list and share the news about the market, or how does it look like?
Probably not broadcast. I mean, personally, I've kind of figured out that, broadcast maybe in some cases doesn't reach to clients.
Yes, they don't save your number,
If they haven't saved your number, they're not going to reach it. So it's just a matter of, obviously, most companies or most agencies have their CRM system. If you're on top of your CRM system, it comes back to your time management every single day. If you funnel properly, then you can be on top of all your leads for the next however long.
How do you create an urgency to slightly push a client to make a decision, in case if you feel like, it seems like he's ready to make a move, but something stops him and we need to make this urgency? Can you share some of your tools?
Obviously, there are a lot of different techniques involved, but at some point, you need to be a little bit laid back. Like, I don't need you to necessarily buy this property. It's great for you. If you end up buying it, it'll probably be better than the next one that's coming because of the way the market is moving. Every single new project, the payment plan is a little bit more steep. The price is a little bit more increased. So right now could be a better time. If you think right now it's not good, we could go into something else a little bit later where the price would be a little bit more. Maybe the payment plan would change a little bit. Once you kind of make it a little bit more casual, I think they end up deciding rather than, the normal standard pushy.
Take it.
Yeah, take it. It's going to go. This is the last unit. I think this is
I use pretty much the same strategy to be laid back, but as well put the seed that tomorrow it will be more expensive than
exactly.
Than
so
it
if
is.
they don't end up buying, they're ready for it next. Yeah.
Like the closing part. Do you usually close your clients over the phone, or it's mainly done to the messages? Like for me, I close it on the messages somehow. Like qualification goes through the calls, but closing part for me is on the messaging. What about you?
I think it's a mix, to be honest. We've closed deals on messages, on calls, even on emails. There are so many clients that don't prefer talking on phone or messages, and they just
especially
are
from
very
States.
used to they're used to emails, which for me is a bit challenging. I don't like emails much, but I think it's a tool that, again, like me, not a lot of people like, and you can miss out if you don't use it.
Do you have some support in terms of like personal assistant who helps you to visit your clients, or you manage everything on your own?
I manage everything on my own because...
how the fuck do you do this?
Yeah, literally. Because, I'm in a place right now where we're constantly structuring the company. So we have support from within the company. Whatever I need, I have a marketing department, admin, operations, obviously accounts. So when I can utilize them, it makes things easier for me. But at the same time, majority of our clients are investors that we have built over the years, that I don't really necessarily have to use closing techniques or, spend a lot of time on. It's technically at a certain time, we've offloaded these properties, or we have this certain amount of capital ready. We want to invest. What is the best for us? We know what is best for them based on whatever we have done over the years. Obviously, we've made them good money, so they can utilize that as their risk assessment, and we purchase. And based on that, whatever else we have, it's kind of like prioritizing and eliminating. I think elimination is a big factor in the process, to understand that, okay, today I have received inquiry for a labor camp, inquiry for a warehouse, someone wants to buy a hotel, someone wants to buy land. And so many agents work on all of these and end up missing out on every single deal.
Such a good advice.
Right?
Yeah.
So eliminate things that are not within your focus and prioritize the ones that are. Focus on them based on timeline, based on their seriousness, who they are working with, and of course, money, budget.
It's not a secret that powerful networks open the door to new opportunities and growth. Would you like to step into a network that works for you? Connecting with a vibrant community of agents, attending exclusive events, and getting the mentorship from the industry legends really is a game changer that you need. Join events, collaborate with like-minded agents, earn big through referrals. Register and get verified on Really to unlock a world of possibilities in the real estate community. Don't miss out on the connections that can change your career. Link is in the description.
100%, yeah. Is there any specific budget that you eliminated for yourself? Like, I don't work with the leads that has lower budget than the specific amount.
Not necessarily picking, because when you talk to new leads or new clients, you're rarely going to get people that are going to say, Dennis, hey, I just spoke with you. I want to buy 50 to 100 million, or I want to invest 500 million.
Actually,
it's
never,
not gonna happen. It's not going to happen unless you're really lucky or someone's kind of, looking into fraud or a scam.
Yeah, quite often.
Yeah, that's the case. So I think 1 to 2 million is a range where a lot of people like to start. Even if someone wants to buy 10 properties worth 1 to 2 million, they're going to talk to you about 1 to 2 million range. And you kind of have to focus on that, especially if you're a new agent. You come into a new company, you see people around you closing 10, 20 million, 30 million deals. You think that that's where I'm going to start. It's not the case. You got to start low and build up on that. Initially have transactions 1, 2, 3, 4, and then take it to the next level. So you definitely have to build up on that. But for us, our average ticket sales has been around 6 million.
Oh, wow. That's good.
It's been
yeah, marketing is really good in
it's
evidence.
been a good number, yeah.
I had a question regarding your how do you approach yourself the learning part? How do you develop yourself as an individual? Maybe you have some kind of let's say mentors whom you follow, or who inspires you. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you?
I like to somehow try and follow routines. It's really difficult balancing everything, with work, life, obviously family. I have kids as well. So managing all of that along with your hobbies and everything that you need to do is challenging. But I think for everyone, you really need to have a routine. Morning routine, maybe, having your coffee, writing down a journal, starting your
journal?
day. I journal every single day.
For how long?
Yeah. For how long have I been journaling?
Yeah. For is it a thing for the last year, or you were doing it for years?
No, I've been doing it for the past 3-4 years. Yeah.
Is there
aggressively, like every single day. Like I have notebooks that I finish and then I get new ones.
Every single morning?
Every single morning. Every single day I know what I'm doing for the day as much as possible, or what my plans are. Every single month I know what my target is.
Plans is a part of the journaling or not? Like you wake up in the morning, you take the journal, like you write your plans.
I write my plans.
This is your journaling part.
This is my journaling part, is my plans, my target for the month personally, my target for the month for my company.
Every single day?
every single.
Oh, this is something juicy. Yeah, this is.
Yeah, I think. I mean, your target for the month and target for your company, it can't be every day. It's kind of weekly or every single, like twice a week. But every day you need to kind of plan what you have, what you want to achieve, where you want to be, and that's got to be there with you. And especially with the target side, a lot of new brokers, they don't have a target in their head, like how much I'm going to achieve this month. Even old brokers, if they reach, like, let's say 100,000 a month, 500,000 a month, they don't think about the next one, and then they write it down. Once you write that number down, you see it every day, you plan towards it, everything changes.
Do you journal at home?
No, in the office.
In the office?
Yes. In the office or outside, depends on where I am. Maybe in the morning I've got a meeting, let's say in downtown. I'm in address, having a coffee, journaling, so it depends.
The notebook is in your car, right?
Notebook is in my back here.
You always have it with your call. Did you try to do it on the phone, like electronically?
I know where you're getting with that question, because you asked about what is the pad.
I didn't buy it. It's not the stuff.
No, I don't like it. I like the old school way, pen, paper, and I think I'm always gonna do that, pen and paper.
Is there any other routines like this? Because this is something that definitely puts you aside from others. Like every day you write
training,
everything.
so working out
When do you
for
do this?
me 4 times a week at least.
In the
4
morning,
to
in the
5 times a
evening?
week. Sometimes in the morning if I can. It's challenging. I'm not a great morning person, but majority of times in the evening after work.
Like for agents, it's so difficult sometimes to find time in the evening because you have meetings with the client. Do you cancel the meeting when you have a session, or you will go to
No,
the
I don't
meeting?
cancel. No, I don't cancel. I just have to work around it, whether I go later or whether I find time maybe during the day, or I just don't go for that day. So it's not necessarily. I think 3 to 4 times a week is good, not just because of body or health reasons. That time when you are there is kind of a meditation for a lot of people. For a lot of people, it isn't. They have other ways of meditation. I really like the idea of reading books, but I have read several books, but it's not something that I have embedded in me. Because for me personally as well, if I start a book, I don't have to finish it to understand what the book is about. I think you kind of grasp what it means because you kind of see it as well in your daily life. But in general, maybe you can relate. There's always time. Like, you see agents say, I don't have time. There's always time. It's just you got to manage what you want to do and what you don't want to do, where you want to waste your time, spend it. Sometimes you go to developers' offices, which is crucial. You got to probably every day to understand what's happening. But then a lot of agents waste time talking to different people for, talking about different things. And that could be one of the times.
Yeah.
That you
I recalled one interesting routine when you talked about the book. Maybe it will be useful for the guys. Like, have you noticed that on Audible, you can increase the speed of how fast they read the book up to 3 and above?
Okay.
And I was always thinking, who is using this multipliers, 3 and higher. But then I found out a very interesting way to read the book. So you put the audiobook in your ears, you increase the speed, and you have to have the book in your hands. Bro, you start reading so fast.
One of my partners, he does that. He has the Audible
really
in his head, but I've never used it, to be honest. Like I kind of couldn't really adjust to both at the same time. But also, I think somewhere it kind of goes into your subconscious mind, whatever you hear or whatever happens that maybe you don't notice as much.
At what time do you usually go to bed?
12.
Oh, that's late, yeah.
Yeah, 12:30. I don't go to bed too early.
And what about your time with the family? When do you find it?
It's challenging, to be honest. Mostly on the weekends. Sometimes during the week, if I can find time to go back earlier to see my kids before they sleep. Sometimes in the morning when I'm dropping them off to the bus. So it's just like trying to find any time. But mostly on weekends, that's the time.
can I reach you on the phone on the weekends? Like, do you have your work phone with you, or you put it aside?
Yeah, I'm working Saturdays anyway. Like majority of Saturdays, I'm working. Sundays, not as much, but I'm definitely reachable all the time. I try to not be, but to a certain amount you can control, and maybe to a certain amount you can't. Right? How do you kind of manage?
Extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. There are days when, I come home, my daughter is already sleeping.
Yeah.
In the morning, sometimes I leave before she's awake because I'm going to the gym or something like that. Yeah, it's challenging. And on the weekends, I have my phone with me. Luckily, my wife understands the situation that we need to be online with the client, so I don't have big drama over it. But it is challenging, and I understand that not everybody can be with the real estate agent in the relationship, especially if it's a girl. You know, like if the boy is not in the industry and they're going out for the dinner and she's always on the phone, sending something, it's quite a challenge.
No, you definitely need. My wife's supportive as well, so it's all good. But in general, it's really difficult to balance, and I think you need to have that routine. Everyone needs to find that routine in themselves, and it's going to help them in their journey on becoming successful in whatever they do. It's not just real estate.
Arian, on this part we have to wrap it up, and in the end I would like to ask you to give an advice to the audience. There are a lot of guys who just recently joined the real estate industry. They're facing some challenges. They're hungry for some educational or some inspiration. So can you please tell them a few words, and we will finish the podcast.
Yeah, definitely. If you are a new real estate broker that's just starting, like we discussed, to summarize, you need to just focus on acquiring as much knowledge as you can. Go out to different developers, especially if you're in primary market, understand what there is, figure out what you like about a certain project or a certain developer, which one you would find it easier to sell, and start there. Focus there. Let your 60 to 70% focus be within that developer. Aim for meetings, not for deals. Initially, try to get as much meetings as possible. Use your colleagues, use the developer support to get to deeds through these meetings. And once you start to have transactions, which is very important, focus on transactions to have 1, 2, 3, 4 transactions. That's when you kind of move on into different things. Social media initially is not important. It is important to have videos. If you can create quick videos with your phone to share with your client, which doesn't take much of your time, adds a lot of value. But social media initially is not important. Put your focus there. Next step, when you become a little bit more advanced, remember the basics. The basics are the same. You still have to be in developer offices, have that relationship. You still need to know every single thing that's happening new in the market. You still need to follow up with people the same way. Your pitch kind of always stays the same way. You kind of only enhance it with your techniques. It's not that I'm going to get somebody today and I say, no, you have to buy this today. It's not going to be there tomorrow. I need to have the same process of understanding the requirement, building rapport of who I am, and getting to the next step. So these are a few things that are really important. Eventually, once you become a little bit more advanced, stay humble. Forget the luxury and this and, spending and just, losing on yourself, because the market is, it has its ups and downs. But at the same time, the more you increase your expenses, you pressure yourself. And in most cases, we have seen agents that are not consistent, and then they eventually have to come out of the market because they lose that sight. So stay humble.
Brother, thank you so much for your time and for this advices. It was incredible.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you.
Nice to see you again. Yeah.
Again and again. And maybe Arian will be the host of one of the following podcasts. We will see how it goes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Take care.
See you in the next video.
Bye-bye.